Good morning, students. I am S.P. Verma. Welcomes you in the class of Standard 7, History, Chapter 1. The name of the chapter is Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. Before we proceed to the chapter, I would like to tell you what are the two important terms that you are going to get in this chapter. The first is CE. The CE stands for Common Era. It means when we are talking about the year, we generally use the term AD or BC, but sometimes instead of AD, that is Anno Domini, we also use the CE, that is Common Era, that is already taught you in class 6. Now new term for you is the cartographer. Cartographer is a person who makes the maps. Why it is important? Because map is very important to understand the history. Because it is one of the literary sources available now to study about our past. As you know, history is to study about the past. Map prepared in olden time is also one of the important source to know about the past. So that's why I said that cartographer is a term that is used for a person who makes maps. So, now come to the book. In your book, in the first page, map 1 is given and the page number 2, map 2 is given. Map 1 is made in 1154 Christian Common Era, in which that is made by the Arab geographer whose name was Al-Idrisi. If you see the map in your chapter, on the first page, you will find the Sri Lanka is shown on the top, that means in the north. I hope you all must have learned in class 6 about the direction of the map. Always the top side is shown as north, downward is south. So Sri Lanka, which is presently we know that it is in the south. But at that time, Mr. Al-Idrisi was not knowing that and there was some problems. So he has made in 1154 CE and he has shown Sri Lanka in the north, which later on, when a French cartographer has made in 1720 CE, he has shown the Sri Lanka in the south. So you will find the changes. What is this matter? Tracing changes through 1,000 years. In thousands of years or in hundreds of years, you will find there is some change. Because the historian used to write what he observed, what he gets from the archaeological sources or from the literary sources. Sometimes the literary sources which are available are of different. That's why there are some changes also. And science has also developed, so more accuracy has gained nowadays. The name of the land is also sometimes you will find is written in another way. Like Kannauj. The name like Kannauj in Uttar Pradesh is spelled in the map as starting with the Q-A-N-A-U-G. But as you are knowing, the actual spelling presently is K-A-N-A-U-G. Same way you may find, I can give you other than the book some examples. Like earlier, Mumbai was known with the name of Bombay. But presently, we used to call them Mumbai. Same way, Chennai was known as Madras. Now it is known with the name of Chennai. So there are some changes that keep on going. So it is equally important in the fact that science of cartography differed in the two periods. As I said, if the early people had written the place Chennai as Madras, but the later on, if a person who writes the maps will write, he will write Chennai, not Madras. So that's why according to time, it differs. So when historians read documents, maps and text from the past, they have to be sensitive to the different historian background also, the context in which information about the past was produced. Sir. Now, the new and old terminologies. What is this means? The new and old. Already I told you, there are a lot of difference between geographical area of the land, what we have earlier and what we have presently is different. For example, I can tell you, you all know what is the India's area. From Jammu and Kashmir to the Kerala or Tamil Nadu in the south, or from Gujarat, from the west to the Arunachal Pradesh in the east, we know is the India. But earlier, this was not. When a chronicler, Minhaj-e-Siraj, wrote in Persian about India, he meant the area of Punjab, Haryana and the land between the Ganga and Yamuna only. He do not use the term Hindustan for entire India. He used only the area between Ganga and Yamuna. However, it had changed. He used the term in the political sense for lands that were a part of dominance of the Delhi Sultan. The area including terms shifted with the extent of the Sultanate, but the terms never include South India within it. South India was not taken. By contrast, in the early 16th century, Babur used Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna, that means animals, and the culture of the inhabitants, that is the people, those who are living in the subcontinent. As we will see later in the chapter, this was somewhat similar to the way the 14th century poet Amir Khusro used the term here. While the idea of geographical and cultural entity like India did exist, the term Hindustan did not carry the political and national meaning which we associate with it today. So historians have to be very careful while utilizing or writing the terms. One more example I can tell you. For example, if I give who is a foreigner. A foreigner is the person who comes from the other country. Presently, we know this much. Suppose a person is coming from America to India. We say then he is foreigner. But it was not earlier. In olden time, foreigner was those who do not belong to that society. That means the people, those who are living in the city, and if they are coming to the another village in the same city, same area, they were also considered to be foreigner. In Hindi, this term is used as परदेसी. परदेसी मतलब दूसरे देश से आने वाला. समय के हिसाब से ये बदलाव आते हैं. आज हम जो विदेशों से आने वाले लोगों को कहते हैं परदेसी, लेकिन पुराने जमाने में जो दूसरे शहर से या दूसरे गांव से दूसरे गांव में जाते थे उनको कहा जाता था परदेसी. दैट मीन्स फॉरेन. ओके, दिस मच टुडे फॉर द हिस्ट्री सेशन. वी विल मीट यू टुमारो अगेन. थैंक यू. बाय.